This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming. Hey guys, I'm going to have a Q&A next video. Please be sure to leave a question if you want to participate. So with the Automatron DLC, the Wasteland Workshop DLC, and the Far Harbor DLC coming out at some point in the near future, I figured I'd go ahead and put together a video talking about some future weapon ideas I had for the developers over at Bethesda for Fallout 4. I was also originally thinking about doing a countdown list or like a top 5 for the best ammo types in Fallout 4, but I decided I wanted to wait and formulate my ideas a little bit better before doing so. So if you are looking forward to that particular video, don't worry, it is coming. Anyway, as for the DLC weapon ideas that I've got here today, I'm going to talk about a wide variety of things, so let me know what you guys think of my ideas, and as always, leave some of your ideas in the comments. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the cryocell. Obviously, the cryocell ammo is only used on the cryolator weapon, which is found as you're leaving Vault 111 for the first time. Now, the closest ammo type to the cryocell is obviously the very similar standard fusion cell that's used in both the Institute laser and the standard pre-war laser weapons. In my mind, it seems feasible to me that you could put cryocells in most laser weapons and it would work. Sort of like how you can modify the alien blaster pistol to accept fusion cells instead of the standard alien blaster round ammo, provided you've got a high enough science perk. What I think is bizarre about Fallout 4 is that there isn't a modification for either the Institute laser pistol / rifle or the regular pre-war laser / pistol / rifle that converts them to support cryocells. Maybe if there was a cryoconversion modification for the laser pistol / rifle, you could simply fire like white beams instead, or much like the cryolator with the crystallizing barrel, you could fire like these quasi snowball things instead. In my humble opinion, having the Institute laser rifle / pistol compatible with cryocells would make it a worthy alternative to the standard pre-war lasers. While the pre-war lasers might have slightly higher damage when fully upgraded, Institute lasers would have slightly less damage like they do now, but they could be modified to accept cryocells, which can kind of like quote-unquote cool enemies to slow them down, or quote-unquote freeze enemies to stop their movement entirely, so you can bash them, melee them, or whatever else you want to do. Honestly, you could probably even have this effect on the pre-war lasers as well, as the Fire Brigadier versions of the Protectrons have cryo attacks, while most of the normal ones, we're talking about Protectrons here, have regular laser attacks. Honestly, I've always thought it was kind of weird that you can't use cryocells in laser weapons as a replacement for your like standard fusion cells. And honestly, they almost look the same, so why can't you use both? But enough about the cryocell. Let's go ahead and talk about the Fat Man launcher now. So some of you already know that I'm not a huge fan of the Fat Man MIRV launcher upgrade. While it may deal more damage than the standard version, it has significantly less range, making it much more difficult to use. I was thinking though about how the Fat Man is essentially a glorified portable catapult that hurls nukes at stuff. Well, instead of hurling nukes at stuff, why couldn't you hurl other things? I mean, you could probably build your own bomb types for the Fat Man that aren't as powerful as mini nukes, but they can be put together from considerably more common materials. For example, you could have like a fire bomb, a cryo bomb, or a lower yield explosive bomb. In fact, since the bottle cap mine is one of the strongest mines in Fallout 4, why couldn't you build like this quasi bottle cap bomb-like projectile for the Fat Man? Adding a craftable ammo capability to the Fat Man launcher, along with some conversions or modifications for fire, cryo, plasma, bottle cap, etc. to the Fat Man would make it a lot more useful in a wide variety of situations at many different stages within Fallout 4. And I'm not a programmer, but it also doesn't really seem like it would be that difficult for the developers over at Bethesda to implement this, as it seems like you could just simply retexture either a Fat Man projectile or a Merv projectile and edit the explosions with some new animations. Of course, this could be really difficult. I don't know. Finally, I'd like to talk about several weapons from previous Fallout games, specifically Fallout 3 and New Vegas. First off, I would like Bethesda to bring back the incinerator from Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Having the incinerator back in Fallout 4 officially would basically make flamer fuel ammo more viable when compared to other weapon types, or other ammo types on heavy weapons and on energy weapons in general. The biggest problem with the flamer/napalmer is that both of them kind of suck unless you have a high heavy weapons perk and a legendary effect on the flamer like a wounding or freezing effect. Otherwise, you've basically got a weapon that uses a lot of ammo and doesn't work in VATS at all. The incinerator, on the other hand, could fire a projectile that would basically be very similar to the cryolator when it's got that crystallizing barrel where it basically fires those small snowballs. And then, of course, you could have modifications for the incinerator that would improve your range, damage, maybe your blast radius, that would all obviously increase its effectiveness. And it's also worth mentioning that the incinerator was mostly carried by the Enclave Hellfire Troopers back in Fallout 3's Broken Steel DLC. Considering that the X01 armor appears in Fallout 4, why can't the incinerator, especially if the Enclave developed the incinerator? Another weapon I would like to see return in Fallout 4 DLC is the 5mm assault carbine from Fallout New Vegas. After all, having a slightly higher damage yet lower magazine size alternative to the minigun would be great for the 5mm ammo type in Fallout 4. It's also always nice to have more automatic weapons, though it would also be cool to see a non-automatic conversion weapon modification for the assault carbine that is semi-automatic with higher base damage as well. Sort of like the assault rifle and the combat rifle can have. I'd also like to see the laser RCW from Fallout New Vegas return in Fallout 4. Even though I hate the submachine gun in Fallout 4, you could honestly literally copy-paste the stats from the standard submachine gun from Fallout 4, although I would recommend improving the range. And basically you can make it fire like laser rifle or Gatling laser projectiles and just use standard fusion cores. And the advantage of using fusion cores could allow for a significantly higher capacity, which could be increased via the nuclear physicist perk. And what would also be nice is if you could also basically have a modification that allows you to switch between fusion cores versus fusion cells, and then fusion cell versions would deal more damage, but fusion cells, it would have a lower magazine size. Another welcome addition for the laser RCW would be the return of the Recycler mod added in New Vegas, which you could use to make it so that you would use 25% less ammo as well. So every fourth shot, you wouldn't consume ammo, or it would be re-added to your entire magazine, which honestly I thought that was pretty cool. I also thought it was cool that New Vegas added different ammo variations on top of the standard ammo types. So for example, you had 5mm or 45 caliber ammo, and those could have like a hollow point version or armor-piercing versions that could be crafted by the player at a workbench. The 5.56 round in particular had standard ammo, which was like what we see in Fallout 4, to give you an idea. There was armor-piercing, which was good against armor, so think of like Brotherhood of Steel armor soldiers or sentry bots would be vulnerable to this. There was surplus, which were military-grade rounds that were just better than the standard ammo, but I think they were expensive to make or buy. There was also hollow point, which was good against virtually no or like very light armors. And then, of course, there were match rounds, which were highly accurate that you could use for sniping on stealth. Of course, if you had like a semi-automatic 5.56 weapon in Fallout New Vegas, and really reintroducing ammo variants on top of standard ammo types would be game-changing for certain weapons. I suspect certain guns, like the submachine gun in particular, or like the pipe rifles, would benefit greatly from being able to modify their ammo further to increase both the weapon's damage potential. Ultimately, it's something that I'd like to see. Anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. My voice is a little weird today, but as for the Q&A, I think we're going to be doing the Q&A on the 10th, so that'll be this Thursday. So leave a question in the comments if you want to participate. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you all next time.